Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL on the Xbox platform. This is the F1 tier, and we are approaching the halfway point of the season. This is round 6, and this is where it's very, very crucial for the drivers to do well. And we're at the famous Temple of Speed for the Italian Grand Prix. First used in F1 back in 1950, just like last week, where we were in Monaco last time about, which was such a fantastic race. And it was actually run by an Italian driver, Felipe Perini, and I'll probably attempt to pronounce it wrong, which I do apologise. And the last actual winner in this Italian Grand Prix was a surprise winner, Pierre Gasly. So much action happened and so much twists and tails happened as well, and it was amazing to see Pierre Gasly take his first win. Anyways, my name is Jess and I'll be your commentator for tonight's race. Hope you're all having a fantastic time, and if you didn't watch last week, it was a very good race between the top three, to be honest, for two different reasons, to be honest. We saw Lutt and Brown fighting it out for the win last time about towards near the end before Jakey went on the softs. And Lutt made a fantastic move into Sandoval, which I clipped on Twitter if you haven't seen it already. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend you check it out. And Jakey actually did the medium to soft strategy last week as well, and that's why he was in second place. It was a very great debut for him for his first race in PSGL on Xbox. We have Brown in third. Placky had a very strong showing last week in fourth. Then we have Dom, who has another consistent points finish in fifth. He would like to see that at the moment. In France, he got a P6 as well, so he must like his top 6 finishes. Then we have Peroni was in sixth, and then we have our 2 reserve drivers. One of them is racing tonight, Jam Pancakes, in 7th. Flying Rosie's not racing tonight because all but one of the full-time drivers are here tonight, so that's good. And left it in 9th, and Felipe was in 10th in the race. Now, looking at the driver standings then, it's quite a big gap now. It was very, very close last week, but this week, because of Lutt's win, Lutt leads by around about 20 points. 56 points over Otis in second. Obviously, Otis did not score last week. Left it in third. Brown fourth. Smasher in fifth. We did see Smasher retire in quite considerable fashion. Luckily, it didn't cause a safety car. I think it was a virtual safety car it caused. I was surprised about that. But anyway, Perondi in sixth. Now, Sparks is showing as reserve on our screen, but unfortunately Hawk has dropped out of the league, so Sparks is now back. The main reason why Sparks dropped to a reserve originally was because his wheel broke. Now his wheel's fixed, he's back as full-time again, so that's good news for him. Felipe in 8th on 16 points. 9th is Thibaut with 15. 10th is Placky with 14. Then we have Jakey B with 13 points. He actually got the point for the fastest lap, I believe, as well. That's why he's on 13 points. 12th is Dom on 12 points. 13th is Sam with 10 points, and then Nico on 5 points, and Crescito on 4 points. And I'll go through the rest, which are not on the list. Dave Wombus is also on 4 points, and the rest of the field got to go fast. Clenzo, Joker, and Big Abdullah yet to score. And the Constructors' Championship looks something like this. Mercedes are on 90 points. Red Bull on 60 points in second. AlphaTauri in third with 36 points. 4 places Alfa Romeo with 35 points. Then we have Haas in 5th, Ferrari 6th, Williams 7th, McLaren in 8th, Racing Point in 9th, and Renault in last with only 4 points. But still a long way to go. We are the final race of the first half of the season before we crack on to the second half, and trust me, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic showing. So, without further ado, let's head straight into qualifying. And there's an interesting turn in qualifying. Probably the first time we've seen in a while, actually, as well. It is raining in qualifying. Luckily, only intermediate conditions at the moment. So, that means that it's not heavy rain. Now, it is quite a track for changeable conditions, as I've commentated on a few intermediate weatherness. I've experienced this in PSGL F2 last season, in season 26 as well. So to be honest, I'm not really surprised. So the braking points are going to be different, and if the weather stays like this, they also have a chance to use whatever tyre they want to in the race, and I have a feeling what tyres they will go on to, which is probably going to be the mediums. The alternate strategy is definitely OP around it, and I mean OP. So, you know, let's go on board with Sparks at the moment. One of the first people to set a lap. You just passed turn 4 now, and you're going to be heading the first leg. You're going to brake just a little bit early, but you can stay around about 4th gear. I think in the dry you can go into the Lesmos around 5th gear, but just to be safe than sorry, go around 4th gear. No DRS enabled in these intermediate conditions, of course, because it is raining and it's unsafe, of course. Imagine what it would have been like if DRS was enabled in the rain. Probably would have caused quite a lot of chaos as well as we head through the Ascari chicane. Now, a lot of people can get caught out here. I've done a few races around Monza. I get caught out as well, and also quite a few invalidations as well. So now you're going to head towards the Parabolica as well, as there's a bit of yellow flags in front. Hopefully that doesn't hinder Sparks' lap too much as he heads towards the final corner now. He's going to try and take the shortest run to the line. Jakey B sets a really good lap on the intermediate tyres, and there goes Sparks with a 1:28.2. So times are expected to be pretty much mixed up at the moment due to the fact that they're getting used to the conditions, and some people may be going on inters for a little bit longer, so they'll have more fuel loads to start with, and then when they go on their second lap, then they'll have less fuel and then they'll go a lot faster. But Jakey B setting the benchmark right now, and I've already called it last week and I'm going to call it again this week. Jakey B is really, really quick, and I expect him to potentially win a race this season. If he does not win a race this season, I'll be very, very shocked. Was picked up by CRG for a reason, and he's definitely showing it at the moment, and he could technically still do well in this championship. Just because he joined late in the proceeding, that doesn't mean that he's still, well, he's out of it. He's technically not out of it due to how close the championship is. Anything can happen, of course. We had Brown winning the first race in Australia, then we have Otis won in Belgium on the third race, Lut won in France, no, not France, Monaco, and the second race, which I forgot what it was Great Britain, that was it, and it was Lefted that won in France, that was it. There we go. So we've had quite a mixture of winners. Will we see a different winner here today? I really do hope so, and to be honest, the Ferraris are expected to do well today. It's a home track of the Tifosis. Nico and Thibaut are under a lot of pressure at the moment. Thibaut, I think, could do well tonight. He's in 4th at the moment with a 1:27.7. Showed his early form early on in the season. He got a P8 in France. That was the only time he also showed up, of course. And there we go. Lut, last week's race winner and the championship leader, is on pole position, which is very, very great to see. Very, very quick already. Around 2/10 clear of Thibaut in the Ferrari in second, who's also gone quicker. The track will evolve as the session goes on, so expect times to be pretty much chopping and changing as the session goes on now. We're going to keep an eye on Smasher as well, as Smasher has recently changed wheel. He was on, I believe he was on the Thrustmaster before tonight, and he's now on the Fanatec wheel, the Fanatec Xbox wheel, which is great to see as well. He's only had an hour, a couple of hours practice as well before the race as well. So he may be off the mark at the moment, but to be honest, some people could get used to a wheel like that, where some people it just takes a bit longer to get used to. But Thrustmaster and Fanatec, quite similar in terms of the layout, in a way, in terms of the shape a bit. So I'm sure Smasher will be okay. Anyways, Peroni in the AlphaTauri has gone fastest at the moment with a 1:26.937 now. Who was the last person that won last year? Pierre Gasly. And what car was he in? AlphaTauri. I wonder if we're going to see exactly the same tonight. Maybe Peroni is using Pierre Gasly as a role model here tonight and wanted to show what he can do. And with these wet conditions, then it could definitely turn the tables. We can see people that are comfortable in the dry, but not as comfortable in the wet. They start to tumble, and they just struggle, and it may cost them in the championship for the long run as well. And he's been on these laps for 3 laps, so I'm assuming that the inters that they're starting on here won't be the ones they'll be using in the race, which is probably a relief for them. So let me just get a sip of my drink very quickly. Now, Peroni has been one of those consistent drivers as well. He's been on 22 points in the championship at the moment. His best finish was in France with a P4, and it was changeable conditions as well. So I'm sure he liked it, and I think he must have been doing a rain dance before the race, I've got to say. But yeah, I think he's going on now. He's not going on a lap now because he's running out of fuel. So I'm trying to find someone who is on the lap. Nico, one of the Ferraris then, just going past, going into the Curva Grande right now. And let's hope that he can find some room to get the perfect lap possible. He's got some clear air though, so it should be perfect enough for him as well. Don't forget, these drivers are not allowed to give slipstreams to their teammate. If they're found out to give slipstream to their teammate, they will be penalised by the race stewards as well. So, you know, something to watch out for as well. And another incentive for the drivers as well. I keep mentioning it, but I know some of you are new to PSGL and are wondering what's going on. Thanks to one of our partners, we are fortunate enough to have a prize pool this season once again. £80 will go to the winner of the Xbox Championship, which is great to see. And I'd like to wish all the drivers best of luck. And it is an incentive, surely, but most drivers have come here to race, as Nico has just invalidated his lap time. So I'm guessing he'll either go out for one more lap, which he can do because there isn't a fuel light showing up on his dashboard, so he's probably going to go out again, as does the majority of the drivers. And Brown goes fastest with a 126.859. I wonder if we're going to see a battle with the Mercedes again in this race. And apologies in advance, I got the Mercedes drivers mixed up last week. I was turning into a Crofty, but I did promise to everybody that I won't get them mixed up this week. I promise. I promise. Pinky promise. I'm crossing my fingers on that one. Brown won't be able to go again though, because he has invalidated. What about his teammate though, Lutz, as he's about to start his lap as well? Anybody else on a lap as well? We got, I believe, Dominic in 17th position on a lap 2, just past Ascari into Parabolica. There is a bit of sun peeking out, so I wonder if the conditions are going to get better. But for now, this is what they have to cope with here in Monza. As Dominic comes across the line, he doesn't improve on his lap time. What about Nico though? He is going out, hopefully for a much cleaner run this time. Hopefully no invalidations. Ascari, I would say people get caught out, maybe invalidated on the third, pretty much when they go into the left-hander here of Ascari. That's a lot of people get caught out, or maybe the right-hander just before it as well. But Nico has done a little bit more tighter this time, which means he'll be able to set a lap. Hopefully Smasher and Big Abdullah will be able to set laps too, hopefully, because we want all 20 drivers to set some lap times here today. As Nico then comes across the line and looks a lot faster than some of the other drivers here today, and it is P3 for him. Very, very impressive for the Ferrari home team here as well, and Tebow in 6th position. So I'm trying not to commentate his cursor Ferrari team, because I know people are going to hate me otherwise as well. As Jakey B goes on top of the time, and she 126.7. Can Tebow go any faster? He does go faster, but not enough to snatch pole position from the Haas car. So times are getting quicker and quicker by the minute. And I wonder if the track's going to get quicker and quicker by the minute as well. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Jam Pancakes, who had some good points showing last week, is going out again for another lap. Currently standing in 11th position. If you're in the dry condition, it is the alternate strategy pole position. But to be honest, if it stays like this, you want to be aiming for the top 10. You want to be aiming near pole position, because all of you will be pretty much starting on the same tyre. So Jam Pancakes needs to go even quicker. He really wanted a race tonight, and he wants to be given this opportunity as well, because he wants to be the first one to be called up. If someone drops out, hopefully no one else drops out from this lead. But he's looking quite, again, tidy at the moment, going through the second Lesmos. Now, this is equal cars as well, for those of you that are not sure about this as well. So if you're wondering why the Williams is not last, that's why as well. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at PremierSimGL if you want to get involved with the discussions as well. Also, you can talk on the YouTube chat. We recently hit 1,000 subs, which is amazing, and we couldn't have done it if it wasn't for you guys watching the streams. And so thank you very much for all your support. And if you have not subscribed to the PSGL channel already, why haven't you? If it's not, basically, if the button's red, make it not red by pressing the subscribe button. That's all you need to do. And turn notifications on, as Jam Pancakes has invalidated. And turn notifications on so you know when to not miss a stream. There's also the PC stream happening at the moment as well. I believe they just start, well, they're on their race at the moment. And to be honest, I was watching Ford qualifying earlier on, and it was just amazing to see the high caliber drivers there. as well. I am keeping my eye. I'm keeping a sneak peek. Have both streams on at the same time as well to support both streams. Don't just have one on. Have both streams on. That's what I have at the moment. So I just keep a nose in whilst this qualifying session is going on as well. But anyway, Nico is going out again. I believe nobody's got his ERS turned down. Has got to go fastest and cut the corner. So I'm guessing he wants to go into the pits as quickly as he possibly can. And Smasher has set a lap time and it puts him into P8 on the grid for now. We'll see if he improves on this time, as I think he's going out again because he's got his ERS on hot lap mode. And he is 2 tenths quicker than his previous best as he goes into turn 4 and then into turn 5 then. And I think he's probably going to go higher than P8 from how he's doing it, because that will put him, I would think, P6 or P6 as a... Oh, that was almost an invalidation. Now, that was close from Smasher. He is struggling in some places, but there's some times where he just really shines. And I think sector 3 could be one of those sectors where he can absolutely do well at the moment. And the top 3 who are the top 3 in the standings are in the pits. But talking of that, no, they're not, because Peroni goes fastest with a 126.5. I mean, if this man is going to be the dark horse of the session, then watch out for him. I'm going to make a bold prediction for him in this race. And I know people are going to hate me for it, but I am. So, yes. So, but Lutton, Tebow and Jakey and Brown, maybe Felipe as well, they've probably got their thinking caps on a little bit. And thinking, hang on, I should be on pole, not him. So, it probably helps them to work a little bit harder. But with 3 minutes left to go, you know, they don't really want to be waiting a bit longer in the pits. They want to go out now. Have they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers out for their lap? Well, going on their out laps at this moment in time. And hopefully they'll have time to set a few more laps. So with them going out now, 2 laps would be the ideal situation as well. 1 lap just to get a feel with it with less fuel. And then the final lap, this is where you're going to be really pushing it and go for pole position. Or if you want to basically, if you have a thing you might bottle it on your second lap, try and go full out on your first lap. And then if you bottle in the second lap, then it doesn't matter as well. Just like Jakey on his out lap, he has invalidated as well. Felipe has just started in heading into turn 1. Now let's know your predictions in the chat, guys. And it's quite close in qualifying at the moment. The top 17 separated by 1 second, with Placky, Big Adula and Joker not that far behind. A few people last week got DNFs in Monaco, not had a good strong start to the season. And like I said at the start of the stream, they really need a good race, because if they don't have a good race, then the second half may not go well for them as well. As Peroni is quite happy with his 126.5, so he has decided to retire at this stage. For everybody else, this is a wake-up call. This is crunch time. It's calm before the storm, as I like to quote from a famous streamer that I know. And he knows I probably nick it from him, but he's a nice friend of mine, so that is why. Anyway, Jakey is going past at the moment, and I guess he just wasn't happy with his laps. He's going to probably go out again. Hopefully, he can make it into the line in time, which he should at the moment. Meanwhile, Felipe is about a tenth down on his middle sector. Can he find some time in the final sector? This is key for the Williams driver. P6 at the moment on track. Can he get any higher? Nope, he can't. He stays it. And he's still got enough ERS to go out for 1 final lap at the moment. Tebow is 5 tenths quicker than his previous best in 3rd position. And look at the gap between 2nd and 3rd. 0.02 of a second but separate between Lutz and Tebow, whereas Lutz's teammate Brown is only in 5th, and Brown has invalidated, but luckily he has time for 1 more lap, because you won't be starting those times in those intermediate tyres, because you've got plenty of intermediate tyres to use in the race if it does rain, but not as many in qualifying. Jam Pancakes is about to start his final. I'm just going to wait to see who's going to come across the line first. I think it is one of the Albertaris. Not Peroni, because he's in the pits, but it is Placky who is come, and he's invalidated as well, unless he has time to cross the line. I think he should. I think he should find just about enough time to get a lap in 3, 2, 1. Oh no, he just missed it. He just missed the line. Whereas Nico comes across the line in 7th position. What about Felipe as he heads towards the parabolic? And now we got a Mercedes not that far behind him as well. I'm not sure which Mercedes it is. Sparks can only manage P6. Can Felipe improve on P6? Yes, he can. 4th position. Thibaut can only, Lefty has retired from the session. Thibaut can only manage 3rd for now. So I think it's all down to Jakey, Brown, and Dominic, and maybe the people at the back as well. Smasher, Big Abdullah, Jam Pancakes as well. Jakey B unfortunately has invalidated. And someone has retired, and that's Smasher. That's probably hindered Brown's chance of getting a lap in. So I think that is qualifying over unless we've got a few more people on their laps. Jam Pancakes has invalidated. Big Abdullah just comes across the line. Got to Go Fast could have his best opportunity for getting into the top 10. And he goes into the pits. And that's everyone on a lap that's done. And AlphaTauri won last year. And AlphaTauri is on pole. BRL Peroni. I believe it's his first pole of the season, which is amazing, I've got to say. I wasn't expecting him to get pole. I was expecting Luck to. But Luck just couldn't get his lap together for the final lap. And, he started, he was at the front last week. And he was fighting with Brown. And he was second for a little bit. And then he went on to take the win with a fantastic battle with him. So, second for Luck is not too bad. Same with Thibaut in 3rd as well. Felipe, it's nice to see him back up there in 4th position as well. As I think we're just waiting for Jakey B to retire in the pit lane. And to be honest, literally any one of those drivers could have got pole today. That's how close it was. So we're going to get back on to the qualifying results. Here we go. So Peroni is on pole position with Lutt in 2nd. Thibaut in 3rd. Felipe 4th. Jakey B 5th. Brown in 6th. Sparks in 7th. Nico in 8th. Dominic in 9th. And Lefted rounds up your top 10. Everyone will start on fresh set of tyres and whatever tyre they want to because they qualified on the Inters. And the people outside the top 10 are Days Rombus, VSR Smasher, Big Abdullah, Clenzo, Jam Pancakes, Got to Go Fast, Otis, Placky, Joker, and Sam. And everyone saying a lap time and all just under a second, which I'm very, very proud of all of these drivers. I've got to say, the standard of this Xbox League is very, very high. So I wonder how this race is going to be going at this moment in time. So I'll talk about the strategy at the moment. You can see on the screen there. Laps 8 to 11, where most people will pit onto the mediums if they were doing soft to medium. But it'll probably be pretty much the opposite, since most people will be going for the alternate strategy. If they don't go for the alternate strategy, I'll be very, very surprised. So they will probably pit laps 14 to 17 or lap 16 to 19. And if everyone's on the mediums, there is pretty much no alternate strategy, I have to say. So, pretty much, it's going to be interesting for the drivers. So, before we head to the track action, let's have a look at our amazing track map. So, the track is 5.7 kilometers long. It has 11 turns, 4 to the left and 7 to the right. And it has some DRS zones. 1 between the start-finish straight, 1 between turn 3 and 4, and 1 between the Ascari as well. And a lot of elevation, high-speed corners as well to get right as well. And most of the lap could be taken at full throttle, pretty much 70% as well. So I think we're going to be in for an absolute cracker. Let us know who you think is going to take the win here today in PSGL Xbox. Thank you for those of you who have stuck around as well, that are joining us for the Italian Grand Prix. Don't forget, this is the final race of the first half of the season. Then we head to 6 more rounds, and by March time, we will know who is the Xbox champion on PSGL. And I think we're just waiting for a few drivers to ready up, as the lobby is taking a little bit of a while to set up, so we may have to have a little bit of a restart. Nope, we are all good. It just took a while for the drivers. So I am going to be sorting out the telemetry stuff before I show you the screen. And wow, to be honest, I said what tyres potentially people could go on in the race. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody except P9 of VSR Dominic is on the medium tyres. I thought everybody would go on the medium tyres, but one has probably gone out of the norm. I'm guessing you pretty much confident in the first few laps, potentially to gain some positions. But he's going to be at a disadvantage than everyone else. The soft tyres are mega quick towards the end. And Dominic will have to pit slightly later as well. But yeah, I'm not really that surprised as well. Lutz also on the softs as well, which is very, very hard to see. And Lutz, I think, again, is another confident driver. But I think he could do it. I think he can make the soft to medium strategy work, because he's a fast guy. He can get past, I think, I'm guessing he could probably get past Pironi in turn 1. He's pretty comfortable. The deltas is around about 6 to 8 temps around this track. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll keep an eye on the 2 soft runners as well, see how they fare with the medium runners as well. But we'll see, of course, as we are about to start this race then, as everybody is getting plenty of heat into their tyres, and quite overcast here in Monza today. Will we see a threat of rain on the horizon? We saw something similar to this in qualifying in the PC earlier on, and it went to intermediate conditions in a drop of a hat. So could we see the same? Is that why Lut and Dominic have gone for the soft tyres first? Do they think that rain could be coming? Do they think rain could be on the horizon? We shall see. Let's hope. Which person will get the strategy right? Well, we'll find out in 27 laps time. I'm just waiting for the final few drivers to make their way onto the grid. And watch out for a lot of DRS trains today. And I have to say, if you're stuck in a long one, it's going to be very hard for you to overtake. So you got to get your strategy right today, and you got to get your overtakes now. You got to be very, very confident on the brakes as well. ERS is going to be ever so crucial around here as well, because you use up too much, especially because most of this is high-speed corners. So we're about to get started then here at Monza. The 5 red lights are coming on very, very soon. Well, they should be coming on soon. That they're revving their lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. Actually, a very good start for Pironi, but Lott is definitely going to get the pace advantage heading into turn 1 due to the soft compounded tyres. He's running away with it at this moment in time. Tebow also having a good start, trying to get past Pironi around the inside into turn 1. Does it with ease, I think, right now as well. Let's see how turn 1 are. Quite a few people have gone out of turn 1 already. Quite a few people have lost a few positions. I do see a McLaren gone off. That was, I think, Sam in last place, but everybody else seems to make their way through cleanly, unless I might miss something, because obviously it's hard to track 20 cars on my own. But meanwhile, it's Lutt in first, Tebow in second, Pironi in third, Brown in fourth position, Jake is dropped to fifth with Sparks in sixth position. Felipe's also dropped a few positions as well, but never say never for these guys. Dominic is not having the best of times in P9. He's under pressure from all walks of life at the moment. Dirty air is costing him a chance to get past Smasher into Ascari at the moment. No DRS yet for the drivers to use, but Dominic is looking quite good now as he heads just before Parabolica. To the left-hand side he goes. Could he make the move stick? It's important that Smasher gets a switchback if he needs to defend all of this. A nice tight run. Both of these drivers are making it at this moment in time. Dominic is very, very close, but I think due to the edge that Smasher is having, Smasher's got the upper hand at the moment. But looks like Dominic is going to come back at this moment in time once more, heading into turn 1. He's also going to get a few more drives, I think, in the making, potentially as well. Dominic gets the job done this time. Dominic, I believe, is up into 8th. I think that's what it was in the timings. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a glitch in the timings screen. So Sparks is not in your race leader. Hopefully it will sort itself out soon, so I know who is where. So yeah, Dominic is P8. I did get that right eventually as well. And let's see what he could do as he gets past Felipe potentially as well. But Felipe's pace is looking very, very good. So it's going to be a lot harder than Dominic is seeing right now. You can see Light is pulling away at the front a second out of DRS range. But Tebow is saying, hang on a minute. I want to get into your DRS and I want to get into it now. So he's going to try and find the smallest of margins that he can possibly can. But it's going to be hard. The detection zone is very, very soon. And the next detection zone, I think, when DRS gets enabled, is around about just after Curva Grande. So if they don't get DRS there, then pretty much they're in trouble. But no one has got front wing damage apart from Sam. But Big Abdullah is out of the race, and we got a safety car already. So what will for some of the drivers, it came out at the wrong time because they just missed the pit entry. But for the likes of Jam Pancakes, Joker, Placky, Dave Rombers, Otis, and Sam, well, Sam's already pitted anyway, they could choose to go on to a different strategy. Placky's gone on the softs, where everyone else around him that has pitted has gone on the hards. That is Jam Pancakes, Dave Rombus, Joker, Oats, and Placky. I wonder if anyone inside the top 10 will pit as well. Will they choose to stay in? If I was Luck, I would pit. I would potentially be on a similar strategy to everybody else. But, you know, it's up to the drivers. They may also have their engineers as well watching the stream, having their notes as well, crunching the numbers as well, because that's what they're there for as well. Deciding, right, what would my driver do? What would be best for him? I don't know what I would do if I was in this situation, but to be honest, I would probably be near the back anyway. So I would do exactly what the people near the back are doing and going on to the hard. Sam has done exactly the same thing. So if the safety cars come at a perfect time for Sam, because he's going to have enough time to catch up. And as I was saying, Luck goes in. Tebow goes in as well. So does Brown. No, Brown stays out because obviously you do not want to get double stacked. And he's on the mediums anyway, so no harm done. I think he's the only one inside the top 10 that stayed out, apart from Lefted as well. Everybody else has opted for the pit lane. I wonder if we're going to have a different tyre strategy for all drivers. So let's go have a look. Lut on the hards, Shaky B on the hards, Tebow on the hards as well. And I'm just going to see who else is on the hards as well. We've got Peroni, Felipe, Sparts, Dominic, Smasher, Cleanser, pretty much everybody from third downwards up to 16th is on the hards as well. A few people are trying to get ahead after the safety car line, but you can't overtake in the safety car period as well. Sam must be having some issues because he's already like a minute down at the moment, and yeah, he's probably going to have a race to forget at the moment. So what would I do if I was in Brown's situation? You probably will have to stay out, because otherwise because everyone else is probably pretty much catched up to the safety car already. You're going to lose a chunk of time. So I think Brown is going to probably dodge a bullet for his teammate, which is probably not what he wants to do. But, you know, again, you can go on the softs maybe a little bit earlier, and the undercut does work around here. So that could work definitely in Brown's favour, because the ones that are going on the hards to softs can potentially pit a little bit later as well. A little bit later. Not a little bit later as well, a little bit later. Luckily, Cleanser has just joined. The hards could last 21 laps, so it doesn't last the whole race. So every single one of those drivers will need to pit again. But it might... They could last if the conditions stay like this and if it's a little bit colder. And it also depends on how long the safety car lasts as well. So that could be interesting as well. The only driver on a time penalty at this moment in time is Lefted. And I believe that's a 3-second time penalty. I believe that is for corner cutting. And Jordan in the chat is saying from lap 5-6 onwards, the hards couldn't make it to the end. So for most of these guys, apart from Blackie and Brown, if they play their cards right, this could be the tyres that see them to the end. But I have a feeling, and this could happen, and I won't be surprised that if it happens, we could see another safety car in our midst. It's Monza, for goodness sake. Like, I think in most tiers in PSGL, in Monza this week, I think we're going to see safety cars. If we don't see a safety car in at least one of the tiers, I'll be extremely shocked. And yes, I don't know why Placky's on the softs either. I think Placky's made a big mistake Because again, he's going to drop down near to last when he's the only driver that will have to pit quite late as well. So he's in absolute danger right now. Lefton is also in danger as well. He's in exactly similar strategy to what Brown is as well. So I think the safety car is going to come in this lap, I believe, or is it one more lap? I can't remember. Usually the notification for safety car in this lap comes in now, so I don't think... I think it's going to be for one more lap unless I'm probably proven wrong, as I often do. And it's like certain situations. I know in iRacing, because I was watching a few iRacing races because I was helping some people engineer. The safety car could technically end the race for some of these drivers, as in pretty much go to the end and then it's one more flag of green racing afterwards if the time runs out. In this, they allow at least 2 green flags of racing if the safety car's near the end of the race. So if at this point you don't catch up to the safety car, then tough, to be honest. It's a tough cookie, to be honest. So, and if there is another safety car, yes, Placky has got the perfect strap. That happens. If it happens, Placky is having a huge gamble on his hands. He's probably praying to the gods right now. It probably might not work, but we shall see. Anything can happen in Formula 1. We did see how the real-life Formula 1 race was absolutely crazy. We had red flag. Lewis Hamilton came in when the pit lane was closed, which meant Lewis Hamilton did not win, but he still, I think, came to finish like P7 or something like that. And we saw a non-Mercedes Ferrari Red Bull podium. It was Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll. Sainz getting his best result in second. We could see something crazy here. We see another safety car, but I don't know. I'm not going to get my predictions in here. We're just going to let the drivers do the thinking and us do the talking. While they'll be doing the talking on track. And the safety car is in this lap. And I was right that the notification does pop in around about this time. So I'm quite happy that I got that right. So they are warming up their tyres at the moment. And you can see Brown is going to be the safety car. No, I don't want to see the trees. I want to see the track game. There we go. It's eventually got the game. So let's see how Brown manages then. Brown has had 1 race win so far this season, which was in Australia. Could he get another one here today? It may not be possible at the moment, but never say never. Brown is also going to hope for another safety car as well as Placky. Brown gets a good start. So does Lefton as well. But the one that's going to be on the up is Jakey B. It's definitely on the up right now. They're still warming their tyres as they head towards turn 1, which means the hard tyres must be extremely cold at the moment. So a lot of wheel spin may happen for the drivers if they push too quickly. So we may see it in the next lap. More overtakes. And no DRS activated yet till lap 9. It's usually activated 3 laps in when the safety car comes in to the pit. So we're on lap 7 now. Not on lap 8, but on lap 9. So just something crucial to keep an eye on there. As Felipe there is looking good in P7 right now. Staying where he is. Let's have a look at the position changes due to the fact that everybody has pitted. I don't usually do this, but I will have a quick reminder. I'll keep an eye on the deltas as well. Brown has gained 5 positions, left it on 8. But the ones that have pitted, Lutter's dropped down 1. Jakey's gained 1. Tebow's dropped down 2. Peroni's dropped down 5 because he started pole. Felipe's dropped down 3. Smarts has dropped down 1. Dominic stayed exactly where he is. Smasher has gained 2. Jam Pancakes has gained 4. Clenzo has gained 2. Jace Rombus has dropped down 2. Placky has dropped down 4. We got a battle between Sam and Otis for P16 into the Parabolica. Sam makes it look easy, he does the McLaren driver. Sam up into 16th position. And I know the AlphaTauri is looking very, very feisty on Sam at the moment. And on Dave Rombus. Placky on those fresher softs. It's definitely going to be faster at the moment. Also, we've got some battles happening at the front as we've got Tebow has lost it. I think it's a Ferrari curse here at the Tifosi. The Tifosi are definitely not going to like it at the moment, and he's got a time penalty for it. I need to check out what penalty it is. It is a 3-second one. So he must have caught the corner bad, or he must have got a lot of warnings, I have to say, as well. But Jakey almost had a move done, I think, earlier on, because I think I'd see positions. He gained a position, I think, as well, on Tebow. And don't forget, Sam is on the softs as well. Sam pitted quite a few times. I don't want to look at the stocks because Sam's on a lot of them. And I did see someone do something similar in another league race I was watching around Australia. Still managed to finish P7. So I wonder if Sam is following in their footsteps right now. Sam is past Dave's run, but up to 14th. But I think Sam's going to find it a little bit more difficult on Placky due to the fact Sam is on the same tyre. But he's going to be on newer tyres. We do have a yellow flag. That is, I believe, Joker, or is it Williams? No, but he's actually got to go fast down in 19th. He's having a horrible race so far as well. And has he got damage? I don't think he does. So he must have had a little spear spin. Maybe he got caught in a scary. But only one way to find out how he does in the rest of the race is just to stand tight, I guess, as well. So the closest battle we have on track is between Smasher and Dominic again. We saw Dominic and Smasher fight for position before the safety car, and Dominic making a superb move. And due to the fact everyone from P4 down to P11 are so close, it's going to be ever so tough just to get past. So I think, you know, it's going to come down to consistency in race pace. No one can make mistakes, otherwise it's going to give your competitors a competitive advantage. So the DRS is enabled then. Smasher can't get past, and also Dominic's got the DRS to good use as well. Interesting enough, the people at the back are not using much ERS. They're saving ERS, which is, I think, good to see. And I think they're sticking to my advice, because if you use too much, then it's hard to recharge due to the fact that it's mostly high-speed corners. So, you know, they're trying to save as much as possible, because who knows what could happen. But anyway, Sam is on the up again, this time on the softs. He's going to be having some fun. That's probably why he's done this as well, to have a little bit of fun. Sam late on the brakes there, but it does not matter for him. Another fantastic move as he makes his way up the grid, up into P12. And by the way of doing this, he's going to try and make sure he can get the gap to what he needs, so he can get into a good position when he pits later on. Because there's no way those softs can make it to the end from here. The hards can, but definitely not the softs. So Sam will have to pit again, Placky will have to pit again. So will Lefted and Brown. Brown and Lefted definitely will, because obviously they only pitted once. No, they haven't pitted at all, actually, because obviously you have to make a mandatory pit stop. Sam makes another move again. He's just on a charge, isn't he? His next victim is Sam. And his next attack, is Sam, not victim. Sam is closing up to get into the points at the moment. Just look at the speed he's gaining and traction around the parabolica. I mean, he's so much faster already. The delta, don't forget, it's around about 6 to 8 tenths per second per lap. And it's definitely showing here. And for the hards, it's about 1.2 seconds. So, you know, you've got to be at pure pace if you want to get onto that. And interesting enough, the pit window is saying Sam to go on another serve soft. Maybe it could happen, you know, if he has a more soft left. Placky almost gets past Jam Pancakes, but he went by the huge bump. If you get caught at that bump around turn 1, then it's pretty much going to lose your time. I've been caught by that bump quite a lot of times, unfortunately, and that's definitely costed me a few positions. So Jam Pancakes is back up to 12 because of it as well. Not much instance to report so far. A lot of these drivers are keeping it absolutely clean right now, and it is great to see at the moment. Brown still leading now, but meanwhile, Sam again fighting against another Sam. McCabe Sam versus Smasher Sam, VSR Smasher. The two Sams battling it out, and Sam at the moment is going out for victorious. Even though Smasher doesn't have to pit again. Sam is up into 10th place. Will he do the same to Dominic then? It's just great to see him doing like a Verstappen style race at the moment. The way he's just easy overtaking. He definitely does remind me of Hamilton and how he made his way through the field as well. So I think he's going to do exactly the same. And unfortunately, Joker's left the session. So hopefully Joker can come back. You are allowed to join, but I think the only time you're not allowed to join is at the end of qualifying into the formation lap, because sometimes it does provide a few bugs when you do that. So that's probably why they don't do it as often. But you are allowed to, obviously, during the race now, so you don't get the corner cutting glitch, because you used to in the games. That's why in PSGL originally they weren't allowed to do that, but they are now, which is good. It gives people a second chance in racing as well, and a chance to get their head straight as well. So I'm finding it hard to get past Dominic, so maybe Dominic is probably on similar pace to Sam Sauce potentially as well. Or is it just the dirty air that's not helping Sam? I think it could be the dirty air, or it might be that his tyres are getting hotter and hotter and hotter as well. And this is what I like to see as well. The guys that finished P1 and 2 last week, they're fighting. Peroni is also back in the game as well. Jakey B then. He's around about 6 tenths behind Lutz. Peroni 3 tenths behind Jakey B. Three of these guys all in the battle for the win. Same for Felipe as well. Potentially Thibaut, if he could get his act together. But don't forget Thibaut, is also one of the drivers on a time penalty. Lefted has got one as well. Sam, Nico, Joker, and Got to Go Fast. So both Ferraris do have time penalties. And if I was a Tifosi fan right now, I would probably help put my hand in shame, to be honest. But to be honest, if you're a Ferrari fan, you've got to hope that the Ferrari boys do not give up at this stage. And we're pretty much halfway into this race already. That's how quickly the time does fly by in this race. One of the shortest races in terms of time on the calendar. In a few races' time, we go to one of the longest races in terms of time, Singapore. But next week we head to Russia, where it's pretty much penalty central. But I'll go through a little bit more about that later on towards the end of the broadcast. We do have a yellow flag. And I believe that's got to go fast again, because it does look like a Racing Point has binned it. And unfortunately, I think he was the one. So he's got a lot of catching up to do. And yeah, this is technically turning into a train for a majority of these guys. And no, this is not Train Simulator. This is F1. But I like Train Simulator. It's good. Anyway, Dominic gets past. Dominic and Sam are still fighting. It looked like Sam almost had the edge there, but Dominic is definitely not giving up without a fight. Heading just past Curva Grande and into turn 4. They've got to be a little bit light on the brakes here. Dominic is trying all he can to keep P9 away from Sam. Looks like Sam has lost it there. A Smasher has got Sam as well. So Sam has got a lot of catching up to do with this dirty air as well. So Smasher and Dominic are continuing where they have left off as well. I think Smasher lost a bit of time to Dominic. But look at this, Sam is coming back as well. This is insane battling from this midfield drivers as well. And yes, it is great to see here a full grid here at Xbox PSGL. We had full grids pretty much in most of the races this season. And there's been 2 races where we haven't, but we had 18. So we've had around 18 to 20 drivers. As we've got a yellow flag, that is Nico, I think. I think it was Nico, or Got to Go Fast. I'm not sure who it was, but let's jump back to the battle that we were watching. And Sam is going to go for attempt 3 or 4 of this. So he's going to get the run to turn 1. Dominic's going to have the DRS though. So I think Sam's run out of DRS because it's 2.3. Unless Sam wants to stay in the detection zone. Dominic is just making it look easy at the moment heading towards turn 4. This is sensational stuff. And we do have a Ferrari that has retired. It looked like Sam was almost going off the track there. And that was Nico that was retired, unfortunately. So one Ferrari out, which is bad news if you're a Tifosi fan or Italian. Is old Dominic. I didn't know what it looked like on my screen, but looks like Dominic hit the back of Sam there. But again, it may look different in the driver's POV. Sam's going to go side by side into Ascari. Almost going into the gravel. Keep it clean, lads. Oh, they both go off the circuit. That's not what you want to do, lads. Hopefully they move out of the way. People are going past him. And Smash is going to go. Thank you very much. That is a free position there. But yeah, you wouldn't want to be going too wide in Ascari like that. Because it could definitely cost you so much time. But that will mean some of these guys, well, I'm almost certain Dominic and Sam will have to go into the pits. But we've got Brown, and I think Dominic's given up as he's just left the session. Brown goes in onto the soft tyres. Dominic has to go onto the softs. Well, he has to at this stage. Luckily, he hasn't pitted at all apart from this, so there's no harm for him. His race is not completely over. Whereas Sam, I think, luckily for Sam, he's still got new soft to use. So again, it's not over him either. So the only driver that's yet to make a mandatory stop is Lefted. I'm thinking he's going to make a stop within the next lap. And I think the stewards could be quite busy with the Dominic versus Sam incident. I don't know whose fault it was there. I think both of them just got a little bit unlucky there. But again, it's not up to me. It's up to the stewards. And they have better angles than I do. They can see drivers' POVs as well, which they get asked to send in. So I'm going to leave it up to them to decide. So I have an impartial view, obviously, as a commentator. Lefty goes in. So that means it's Lutt, who's now your race leader. Could he make it a third win? Which is, nobody has been able to get 3 wins on the trot in PSGL Xbox. He could be the first one to do so. Actually, Lutt has been the only driver to get 2 wins. So he could be definitely on a high at the moment, and he could definitely be a force to be reckoned with. But I know Jakey B is definitely going to give Lutt a run for his money. And looks like Sam has unfortunately retired in the pit lane, which is to be expected. And luckily he didn't retire on track, so I don't think you are allowed to do that. So luckily retiring in the pits, just make sure that everyone is safe and there's no safety cars, of course, because of that. Because sometimes it does, and it's very annoying. So we shall see then. It's going to be hard for the top 4, I would say, to overtake, but they're probably just being patient at the moment. For the top 3, I've got to say, especially Luck, these are the cleanest drivers I've ever seen, so they're just waiting for the perfect opportunity. If they go for too many risks now, then it could hinder their race, but Jakey is not going to wait. He's going to go for the moment and move right here and right now. And you can see the conditions are getting a lot better here at Monza. And you can see as well, Lutt close the door on Jakey B. He knows they're both in the same esports team and they've worked well together. They are teammates in esports, but at PSGL, they're rivals and they're in different teams. So they'll be on different strategies. So, you know, it's game on for these two as well. But I'm sure they're going to be loving having this battle as well. And I think people will be very happy to see Lutt and Jakey B in the top 2 as well. And like I said, Jakey B could be a future race winner here at PSGL. He's been a race winner in pretty much most of the top tier leagues in Xbox. Could he add for another one here tonight? These two are definitely not going to make it look easy for any of them. Felipe as well, he could still have a chance for the race victory as well. Felipe was one of the favourites to actually win the championship. He was on the pole as well. And he hasn't had many good races, but he's actually starting to finally turn a corner here at Monza. Maybe because he likes the track. He is chosen the Williams. I think he had a choice of car and he chose the Williams, which is not surprising to be honest. He did have he did have a disconnect in France. And his best result was Great Britain in P4. And he got some points last time about in Monaco, which is probably not what he wanted, but it's better than getting no points, as Left did, unfortunately gets a time penalty. And with the track temperatures improving as well, the tyres are going to get hotter and the pace is going to improve as well, and we're going to start to see more fastest laps. But with people pitting quite early on for the hards, don't forget they also had a safety car as well, they're going to hope that these tyres can last duration. I think they can. I think they can. But if they don't, it's either gambling for a win or a puncher. That's what it is at the moment. So, I think Jakey is going to be hungry. I think Lut is potentially knowing what Jakey's going to do. So Jakey has got to think in Lut's shoes. Right, if I was Lut, what would I do if I was defending? And then you would do exactly the opposite. And Jakey's already going extremely early. Much better straight line speed than Lut at the moment. Heading towards turn 1. And the 27 car of Jakey B has put our mind to rest. Jakey B is your race leader at the moment with Lut in second. But Lut has got the DRS. We got a yellow flag in the turn 1. We did have an incident. I think Sparks has gone off. I think a few people have gone off and got damage, I think, because of it. And Jam Pancakes has gone off as well. So I wonder what happened there. I was watching the battle with Jakey B and Lut unfold. I didn't see what was happening behind. But I guess I'll have a look after the race for you and see what happens with this. Great to see quite a lot of you still watching this Xbox tier at the moment. More dirty air starting to form at the moment, so this is going to be absolutely intense for the drivers. We're almost heading towards lap 21. And Jakey B, just look at the gap that Jakey B is pawning away from Lut right now. Around about 8/10 of a second. This is insane. But you can see Lut will find a few more tenths when he gets the DRS open. I wonder if Felipe is the same. Lut's going to be under pressure once more, but this time from the Williams driver. I wonder what Felipe can do. I don't think Lut was expecting Felipe to be on the back of his gearbox. Oh, it's very, very close indeed, but they're keeping it tight-knit at this stage. Let us know if your predictions have changed on who you think is going to be getting the podium. And we can also see a battle brewing as well between Pironi and Sparks, keeping it very, very tightly past the Curva Grande now. Has got to go fast. It's out of the race. Got to go fast. It's out of the race. And are we going to see a safety car? Because he parked it at the start finish straight, unless he retired in the pits. Pironi has lost a few positions. But luckily it was a yellow flag in sector 1, not sector 2. So obviously you are allowed to overtake there. But yeah, nope, it is a retire for the pit lane. He looked very stationary for quite some time at the moment. Meanwhile, for the battle for the last point, we saw Lefted and Jam Pancakes fighting for position. And Lefted's up to 10th. And Smasher has just got a time penalty, but he's on a good recovery drive in 5th place. But he may drop down a few, like I said, due to penalties. And whoa! Round there, right? The round Parabolica gets the move done. And he's up to P8. He's back on the charge. And he's may have proven himself that maybe staying on the strategy, not pitting when everyone else did, has probably worked out for him because he's on the fresher tyre. He could potentially still win this race. We also got Smasher and Sparks going at it as well. There's just so many battles happening towards the end of this race. This is remarkable. But the track, obviously, like I said, the track conditions are better. It promotes more overtaking. And it's going to be a lot better for these soft tyres. Here comes Cleanser on Smasher. Oh, no, it's actually Cleanser on Brown. Brown on Cleanser, actually. And we got Lefted as well, round the back as well. So it is a train starting to form. And it's not good if you're the likes of Lefted and Smasher. Because obviously you want to try and get rid of the deficit as much as you can. And Lefted is going to fight back here heading into Ascari. We saw it go on for Dominic earlier and Sam, but it did not go on for these two. Left it is up to 8th position as well. Let's see. Brown's next attack is Smasher. And I think it could be easy pickings for Brown, but Brown has raced against Smasher before and he knows that Smasher is quite quick as well. But we'll see. I think it may come down to the tyre difference, I think. And yeah, that's easy for Brown, I think, unless Smasher is going to give Brown a run for his money, which he doesn't. So Brown's up to 6th place. Brown could potentially still be on the podium, but finding 7 tenths in 7 seconds in 4 or 5 laps could be impossible, but never say never. Brown then is going to get the left-hand side of Sparks. He's doing what Sam did earlier, making his way through the field up into 5th position. Lefted is doing exactly the same, this time on Smasher. Again, Smasher and Lefted, I believe, is on the same penalties. So, they're definitely fighting for position. Quite a few people are so close to hitting the gravel tonight, but they're just keeping it clean, keeping it consistent at the moment. Let's see what Lefted could do. Oh, Lefted's lost it. Lefted lost it. I think he went on the power there just a little bit too early. And Lefted has retired on track. This could be a safety car. A late safety car could be on the horizon. And if you're the likes of Brown, this could be music to your ears. I don't think there's going to be a safety car, which I'm relieved about. And I think it'll be too late for a safety car anyway. So this is going to potentially be a sprint to the finish. And there is no safety car. And some people can go for a spin and a scar and just lose it on the power. And yes, Lefty lost it into the lefty there. Nice saying there from the guys from Shizu there. And we still got a battle brewing as well between Thibaut and Felipe. And the more these three potentially keep battling, Brown could still catch up. You never know. And we still got, after round 6 here, we'll still have 6 more rounds to go of this championship. Next week we head to Russia. Then we've got Singapore, United States, Mexico, Abu Dhabi, and then we end the season in Japan. Which I've got to say, Japan is a great track to end the season on. But we still not even ending the first half yet. When we head to the end of lap 27, we would have ended the first half. Thibaut then can still have an opportunity to gain as many positions as he can, even though he's also got the time penalty too. But look at Felipe. Felipe could be on course to be getting his best finish as well. Could we see 2 different cars that haven't been in the top 2 before get into the top 2 and actually go on the podium as well? We could see 2 different podium sitters here at PSGL here tonight. But there's still 3 more laps to be decided here at Monza. So anything can happen. We have lost 5 drivers here tonight at PSGL Xbox. Hopefully we do not lose any more. But we shall see. As Felipe, does he get the better straight line speed on his rival Lutz? He's not going to make for the move there, which I think is good, I feel, because you don't want to do what Left to do and go into a spin. And as you can see, these drivers has been on these tyres for around about 20 laps, and normally they last 21 laps, but since they were under safety car conditions, these tyres can make it to the end. So guns are blazing, as I say, and for some of these drivers, they've been saving their tyres, and looks like Felipe has been saving his tyres. To the right-hand side he goes. This could be his defining moment here in this race, and he does it with ease, up into P2, goes ahead of Lutz, and it may be too late to catch up to Jakey, but my oh my, I'm sure Felipe will be really, really happy with that. I think Lutz must be getting a bit wide at the moment, and he's still got Thibaut chasing, but luckily for Lutz, he's still going to get the podium because Thibaut has got that time penalty. at this moment in time. As we got more penalties, the Smasher has got a straight up 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, so he must have cut it quite much as well. I'm not entirely sure there, but Dave Rumble has set the fastest lap of the race, but it's not inside the top 10, so it's not going to make a difference. I think the only one that could potentially get the fastest lap of the race is Brown and get that extra point. That's what we thought Jakey B got last week when he did the memes of soft strategy. He got P2. He could potentially get one better, but Felipe somehow has caught up at 5 tenths over Jakey. I don't think it's going to be enough though. He's got to get within DRS in order to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. I think Jakey's going to get the win here. Or is Jakey pushed too soon and it's allowing Felipe to catch up? Sparks and Smash are still having a battle. Sparks having a little bit of a slider heading into turn 1. This may give Smasher a little bit of a glimmer of hope as he goes into the grass as well. This might give Clenzo a little bit more hope as well. Clenzo on the back of these two. My oh my, let's hope they don't make it 3 wide, because otherwise it could go wrong. Clenzo has decided to back out of this one for now, and I think all 3 cars have decided to back out. So Clenzo stays in 8th position at the moment. I don't think Brown is going to catch up onto the podium, but he's going to get, I think he's going to get P5 or 4th, which is still amazing. Placky's managing his soft tyres very well. He's not going to get into the points, but he's having a fantastic battle with Otis. And we've got Spasher and Sparks having a good battle as well for Ascari. No spinners there. Smasher does it very well. But meanwhile, let's go on board with our race winner. Jakey can celebrate. He goes into the wall, but he doesn't care. He wins in Monza. Felipe in 2nd. Lutz in 3rd, Brown 4th, Tebow 5th. But what about 6th place? Both of those side by side. It could be a photo finish. And due to Smasher's penalties, it is Sparks that gets 6th. Peroni gets 7th. Jam Pancakes 8th. Smasher 9th. And Clenzo gets the final point. No, actually, no, it's Otis. Oh, yeah, because Clenzo had the penalty. But that was quite a close finish, I've got to say, from all these drivers. A very good race. I think what could have been for some of the drivers near the back as well. I would say Dave Rombus as well. Got a lot of work to do. And I think Sparks and Smash was very, very close. Because look at the... You can't see the delta. I think that's how close it was. I think it was a photo finish. So, we're about to get your results just to see what the delta was. I know it may be different due to penalties, but as Placky gets the games driver of the day, who do you think is going to be your driver of the day? We'll have to wait and see as Jakey B gets his first win. I had high hopes for this man, and he's done me proud. He's done everyone proud, I've got to say. And we have 2 different drivers standing on the podium along with our championship leader, CRG Lot, in 3rd. I think he'll still be disappointed, but not too disappointed, because his nearest rivals hasn't scored much. Because looking at the standings, Otis only scored 1 point. Lefted retired. And obviously Brown has scored 4. So all of his rivals, apart from Felipe, of course, finished ahead of. So, yeah, intense. So let's run for your order. So we got Jakey B, Felipe, Lut, Brown, Tebow, Sparks, Peroni, Jam Pancake, Smasher, then Otis. Those are your top 10 finishers, and they're going to be getting points. Dave Rombus gets the fastest lap, but does not get a point, because that's not how it goes here at PSGL. But your finishers outside the top 10 are Placky, Clenzo, Dave Rombus, Dominic, and Joker. And your retirements are Lefted, Got to Go Fast, Sam, Nico, and Big Abdullah. And now it's time, actually, to get the top 3 in for interviews, which I hope we can. I hope we can get them for the interviews, especially speak to our race winner, our first time race winner, Jakey B. It'll be interesting to hear his thoughts on how he thought of the race. Maybe he was hoping for a win last time in Monaco, but he didn't have to wait long, did he? So, we'll just give it a moment. They probably don't know that I do interviews, so I'm just going to tell them now that interviews are on. So it's Jakey. I think I know Felipe may want to do an interview because I know he said he wanted to do interviews before. So we'll try and get them in, and if not, we'll wrap it up. But it's not mandatory, of course, for these guys to do interviews, but it just feels like it's nice as well. And yes, and interesting enough as well, even though the Ferraris have not done well, one of the Ferraris not done quite as well. One of the Ferraris finished 5th, and one of the Ferrari powered teams, Haas, has went on to win the race. So our race winner can't join us in the commentary box, but our second place man can. So we're going to get Felipe into the waiting room, and I think that will be the only interview we have. So let's just see then. So you can hear my frantic typing as I try and sort these interviews out. But Jakey, I think, must be delighted with his win, and he must be as well. He can see his championship hopes still there, I think, as well. And it just shows never give up. So let's bring Felipe in. And I think he's in the box now, and you must have had a very entertaining race from your end as well. And finally, you've got your podium that you were hoping for so long. Tell us how you feel. Yeah, that is great to see. Trying to keep that consistency up, and I don't think they heard you because I think my sound is playing up for a second. So I'm trying to sort that. But yeah, your season started off very rocky for you as well. And what made you get back on track and realise that you can still do this? Yeah, Jakey, I think, performed well as well. Do you think you can beat him in one of the races? Yeah, I think I've got the audio fixed now. So let us know you can hear us. But I'm sure you must be delighted there. Sorry that you couldn't hear Felipe there. But yeah, it must have been my end. I think because of the wavelength updating or something. But yeah, apart from obviously Jakey, who would you say would be your nearest rivals in the championship? Because you're still pretty much there in the championship fight.
Yeah, I think Jakey, Lut, Chibo, many other guys like Brown as well. Sparks is always there. So yeah, a lot of guys. It's a close grid, So in quali, I mean, it was like 1/10 to P1 to P4, something like that. Just 2 temps. So yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, and any tracks you're not looking forward to? Well, any tracks you are looking forward to, actually. Let's start that with the second half, because we are heading to the second half of the calendar next week. Is there tracks you need to practice on more, or is there tracks you like? What do you think?
I really like Monza, so yeah, I need to get a good result here. And when I saw like rain in quali, I thought that was not optimal, but I managed to get a good grid position. I mean, I could have got pole, but I lost it last corner, last attempt there. So yeah, this is my best track every game, I think. So I I got this result. I'm happy with it, and yeah, I have to check the calendar as I said because yeah, many other tracks I'm good as well, but yeah, this one I don't even need to practice that much, But yeah, happy with it.
Yeah, and the next track is Russia, of course. And are you a person that
Yeah.
tends to get quite a lot of penalties in Russia, or do you think you could keep it clean and have some good battles again next week?
I raced Russia on Friday, so and I
Oh.
didn't get a penalty, so yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, I had 2 warnings since left 4, I think so. Let's try to not get a warning, and I need to practice a lot for that because it's a pretty hard track for me. I mean, some people do like 0.0, and I'm like half a second slower, so I need to practice a lot.
Yeah, almost certainly for that. But you still have time. You got a week, of course, as well. And I wish you the best of luck for next week. Thank you very much for joining, and well done on your well-deserved podium. Yeah, well deserved actually. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the Xbox League for PSGL. We've enjoyed you watching us here tonight as well, and that wraps up the PSGL coverage for tonight. Because obviously the PC League is done, the PS4 leagues are done as well, and obviously the Xbox League. But there's still more Italian Grand Prix action to go. Make sure you join us on Sunday evening for F8, F9 and F7 action as well. The highest assist tier league, on the PlayStation. And then we've got F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 and F6 on Monday. The highest no assist tiers, some with line, some without. So a lot to catch up on. But yes, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week, same time, 8 p.m. for the Russian Grand Prix. That's where the Xbox drivers will be next. Have a good evening, everybody, and goodbye.